Welcome to Mogobe Nuggets of Wisdom podcast. My name is Mompoloki Lerumo Mogobe. Our objective is to enthuse, inspire, energize, and empower entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs of all stripes here in BW and beyond. We do so by inviting these entrepreneurs into our makeshift studio. Sometimes we call them to the restaurant, sometimes we go to our studio, and we ask them to share their experiential knowledge, their experiences and their expertise, and we ask them as many questions as we can, aimed at empowering you also as a viewer. Hello dear viewer, dear listener, my name is Mompoloki Lerumo Mogobe. I welcome you once again to yet another exciting episode of Mogobe Nuggets of Wisdom podcast. It's always a privilege and honor to bring you something exciting, something life-changing. I brought to the studio an author, a young aspiring entrepreneur and author by the name of Thato Waniwa. Am I saying the name correctly?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thato, would you introduce yourself to the viewers and also share your background a little bit?
Thato Waniwa is a girl who was born and raised in Francistown. I'm one girl who was raised by a single parent. So I worked very hard. I worked very hard as a young girl to get where I am. So I normally don't like telling people much about myself based on my personalities, my age and all that. I like telling people about myself based on my goals and my visions.
Wonderful, wonderful. Just share a little bit of your academic background. What have you studied? What have you working on at the moment?
2016, I got admitted at Botswana Accountancy College doing my Bachelor of Sciences degree in Mobile and Web Technologies. It's an IT-based course that deals with programming and networking. And currently, I'm an intern and Civil and National Registration IT-based.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, speaking of being intern, that's Omang, right? Yes. Why is it so difficult to get Omangs these days? What happened to your systems?
I don't know why.
But you know, it takes months and months, even years to get an Omang. I think I applied for mine about 6 months ago. I still haven't heard anything. I was told to wait for a WhatsApp. What's with Omang?
I don't know what is happening actually, but I think it's because there are a lot of people, so the system is flooding. Because some are renewing, some are just people who just started having ideas.
So what is your role exactly at Omang? What do you do there?
Because I'm transferring from agriculture to Omang, I've been working there before as an attaché. So what I was doing is I was working with my supervisor who will deal with user requests, help people with some programs, and maybe work with the systems when they are down. You know, people always say system is down, maybe because of poor connection of the network. So that is basically what we do.
Okay. Well, you say you tell people who you are based on your goals and so on. Who are you as a brand in that from that standpoint?
I describe myself as an unveiled woman.
Unveiled woman.
Unveiled woman inspires. That's the name of my brand. An unveiled woman is a woman whose heart is fully surrendered to God. So growing up, I grew up in a religious family. And then as I was growing, I chose to be an Adventist. So I told myself that no matter what, I'm going to
So you're an Adventist like me?
Yes, I am.
That's great.
Treasure.
Yeah, yeah.
So I told myself that no matter what, I'm going to set my goals and I'm going to achieve them. And I make sure that I set goals that are attainable based on my time, you know. And I make sure that if I set my goals, I reach them no matter what, because it's very difficult to grow in a situation that is really challenging, especially being raised by a single parent. So when I set my goals, I make sure that this is what I want to achieve, and I'm going to achieve it in this way, and then I work on them.
I'm a 4th generation Adventist. It sounds from what you're saying, you're a 1st generation Adventist. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is.
Why Adventism? Why do you choose it?
What Adventism, I like the teachings. Like they helped me, they groomed me, my character. Yes, and they help me also to reach out to other people, because Adventists are people who like evangelism. So when you evangelize, you get the other people who are out there depressed, lost, not just not knowing about God, but some don't know their purposes. But I believe God placed us in this world for a purpose. So if you reach to other people, it's very good, and it's inspirational because it can take them from one level to another level.
Okay. Some people are feeling down, somewhat despondent and discouraged because of the pandemic. But you're saying you're using your gift during the pandemic to be fruitful and to be productive. Can you explain that to the viewer and unpack it a bit more so that everybody understands what you mean?
You know, with those social media platforms like Facebook, WhatsApp, at times we tend to use them in a very wrong way. So what I did is I took Facebook, the platform Facebook, and then I established a Facebook page where I get to write my daily inserts, and it's from Monday to Friday, and Saturday, Sunday I try to write inspirational quotes, verses from the Bible. So I was looking at the, okay, during this pandemic, there are people who are out there depressed, lost, and they don't know how to like grow themselves. And then I was like, okay, fine, since Facebook is something that is international, I can write where everyone across the country and they can get to see and read. And in that way, that means I'm going to touch as many lives as I can.
Okay, what's the name of the page, and what basically have you been mainly writing on?
The page is called Unveiled Woman Inspires.
Unveiled Woman Inspires.
Yes. So what I do is I write such short inspirational stories. I also do like some short video clips at the end of the story that I write, explaining the message to the people, what I was trying to drive home. And then I also record songs. I like singing, so I do some short videos and post them. That is what I do. Yes, with certain messages, like maybe the book title, I'll not use this one, I'll use
book title, It Is Well With My Soul.
This was the first book I wrote on my Facebook page, 2019. But I wrote about 6. This is the first one I published.
You wrote 6 books?
Yes, I did.
Okay, one of which is published. You had to publish 5 more.
Yes, I have to publish.
So you have a lot of content inside you.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to talk about this in a moment, but I still want to go back to your Facebook exploits. How many followers you have, and how has it been the response?
I have close to 7,000 followers, and they've been very supportive. My Facebook pen pages, they've been very supportive, because whenever I post, if there's something that they don't like or they are trying to help me to say, okay, fine, you could have done it this way, they do approach me through text, and to see them sharing my content and the comments be like, you go girl, it's very inspirational. It motivates me and pushes me to go even an extra mile.
Okay. Is this the only platform you're active on, Facebook? Or there are others? Yes,
I use Facebook. I also use Instagram. I joined my accounts. And WhatsApp. WhatsApp, I established a group as well, where I do my daily devotionals from the Bible. So normally when I do them, I make sure that I forward to my WhatsApp group as well.
And all this started during the pandemic?
2019.
Oh, just before the pandemic?
Before the pandemic.
Okay, but it carried on during the pandemic?
Yes.
Okay. You are a writer. As you mentioned, 6 books, only 1 published. Let's deal with this one. It Is Well With My Soul. If I can just let you know that my favorite hymn from the Seventh-day Adventist hymnal is exactly this: It Is Well With My Soul, because it really speaks to me about resilience and about confronting the devil and resisting the devil. I want you to explain what the title is about and what the book itself is about.
Okay, the book is about a poor orphan girl. She lost her parents due to a very terrific accident. So she had to go and stay with the aunt, who was very abusive emotionally and physically. One man by the name Gerald, in the book, he adopted the young girl, and he made sure that she was fed spiritually, emotionally. She supported her. And then she went to school. She made it in life.
Okay.
And the most surprising thing is she went back to take care of the very same aunt who abused her.
Wow. That's difficult to process.
It is, but I was trying to portray a message there.
Okay. Let's deal with the title. My first question was, what does the title mean? It Is Well With My Soul.
It is well with my soul. Sometimes we are faced with situations, difficulties because of the trials and tribulations of this world. And some tend to give up or to sink in. But some will choose to stand. I think those who stand are those that know what really they want and who really they are. And then they stand, they fight. Yes, and then at the end they end up making it. Hence, it is well with my soul. No matter what, I will keep on fighting.
Okay.
And because I have promises that even when you pass through the dark shades, I'll always be with you. Such things that keep you going. That is why it ended up being well with the soul.
So it's nothing to do with the hymn?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
It's just a coincidence that the hymn is promoting the same message.
Yes,
And then resilience, bouncing back from failure. Have you heard that?
yes, I did several times.
Share with us some of your experiences about being resilient and bouncing back from failure.
Okay. When I started writing, a lot of people doubted me because I was this girl who was always laughing, playful. I'll tell people, okay, I'm writing on my page, especially my friends from school, follow my page and they'll be like, oh no, we cannot do that. So it kind of discouraged me because...
Why do they say you cannot do that?
Because I think it was because I was too playful. I was always this girl who was laughing, playing. Even when they say, let's read, I'll be like, no. They didn't know that I love books. Yes. And then there was a time when my readers, I didn't have a phone by then. So the school closed, we went back home because of COVID-19. So I took a very long time without sharing content on my Facebook page. So my readers were like unfollowing my page. It was painful. There was nothing I could do because at school I could use the labs and type my inserts. But without having a phone, being back home, without having access to the internet.
What was so difficult about getting a phone?
I lost my phone. Yes, I lost my phone.
And getting it replaced was hard.
It was hard because that was when I was home. There was no allowance, nothing. I wasn't working. So I couldn't get a phone.
Okay.
Yes, so I tried by all means to like get a phone and try engage my followers. They came back again. And then I had another challenge. I was still a student. It was hard to get the books published. Going from one entity to another, they will tell you, okay, fine, we want close to 7,000 and that was a lot to raise for the book to be edited. And then I kept on praying because I'm this girl who has faith in God. I kept on praying. One lady was like, you know, I can see that you're very serious with this. I'm going to edit your book for free. So this book was edited for free. And then
Do you want to mention the lady?
Langanani Sekupolo. She edited my book for free.
Kudos to her. Tell her that she did well.
She did. And then by God's grace, I found internship. I was discouraged because people kept telling me that, you know, with IT, it's very hard to get a job out there. And
so that's your trainings in IT, yes?
Yes, and a lot of graduates are waiting. So how are you even going to get internship? I was home, depressed, not working. And mind you, my mom's not working, so it was very depressing. Until I got internship and I was like, okay, fine, I'm not going to waste my money. I'm going to save the first 6 months so that at least I raise money for my copies. And that is what I did.
Okay.
That is when I got my book published.
So where was the failure? Which one do you see as the biggest failure? Because some might argue that was just the process.
It was the process, but I feel I failed my people when I couldn't deliver the content. If you want something, if you are very zealous about something, you should find better ways of filling the gap. I shouldn't have just said, it's COVID, I cannot do anything, I don't have a phone, while there was something that I could actually do.
Okay, what did you eventually do? You said you...
Yes, I ended up getting a phone.
Okay.
Yes, from my sister.
Okay. Talk about self-publishing. What does it entail to self-publish a book like this?
What you have to do is you need to have the content, and then it has to be fully edited, and then you make sure that you go to the National Library to get the copyrights and the serial book number.
Oh, you get that from the National Library?
Yes. So you can do it.
This is not a barcode?
Yeah, it is. Yes.
It's available from the National Library.
Identification serial book number.
Yeah.
So you get it for yourself or your publishers get it for you. Then they are the ones who are responsible for maybe designing the book layout, how it looks inside, page numbering and all that. You can also find people to do the cover page for you, designers. Yes, that is what you need to have.
All right. And your publishers here are Batho publishers?
Yes, Batho publishers.
Okay, where are they based? And
they're based in Gaborone, but they have representatives in Maun.
Okay.
Yes.
Why Maun? Because that's where you worked.
That is where I worked, but there's another representative for Batho publishers in Maun. I think it's because when they are representative that side, they will be able to forward them to the main. Yes.
Okay, most people want to write books, but they feel that it's tough. Some of them give up without trying. What would you say to them, those who have a book inside them, but are not putting it out there? What words of encouragement would you give them?
Okay, what I can say is you shouldn't compare yourself to anyone, because comparison is the thief of joy.
Thief of joy.
Thief of joy.
Thief of joy, yes.
You'll never be happy if you keep comparing yourself to the other person. When they elevate, you'll be like, okay, fine, but this, I want to get this, but you can't get it. So what I tell other writers is that if I'm a writer and I've published 5 books and you just started, you shouldn't say, okay, fine, I should be an inspiration to you. But you shouldn't be like, you shouldn't put much pressure on yourself to an extent that you end up judging yourself. I cannot do it. She did 5, but I only did 1. So what I always say to them is start where you are with the little that you have, and then you focus on it. Don't like be flooded by what other people are doing, because if the mind is not focused, you would never achieve anything.
Okay, that's very good. And this book is a play much more than a novel, or it's not a novel, it's not an autobiography or a biography. Yes. Why did you choose the route of a play instead of the other sort of categories?
I don't know, it's maybe because I did drama in school, so I liked plays.
You're saying maybe, you're not sure?
I don't know, I had to choose it in a play format, actually. I don't know why. I just started writing it in a play format.
Okay. The other books are also play formats, or the other formats?
All my books are play formats.
Okay. So who plays what roles? Does Thato Waniwa play some of the roles?
No.
How do you bring the book to stage so that it's a performance on stage?
I don't really know, but
have you started doing that?
I haven't done it yet.
Okay. Is it your plan to eventually have it as a play acted with actors?
I really pray for that.
Okay.
Every day, every night. I wish.
And who's the main protagonist? Who's the main person here, the main character?
The main character is a girl called Noli.
Noli?
Yes.
And who's going to play Noli?
I'll play Noli.
Okay, so you do want to perform your own plays?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was asking earlier. So your plan is to have this performed, and what steps are you taking towards having this come alive on stage?
Actually, I was still finding people I can work with, those that can help me to get those into a play, because I feel it's something that is, I wrote about something that is happening nowadays. Yes, that as young people are faced with, but we are not able to voice them out. So I felt writing maybe will help, and it will be more effective, and the message will be more delivered if it is really seen.
So make a pitch. Maybe somebody is watching, actors, directors. Make a pitch. Talk to them. What are you saying?
Okay, what I'm saying is I wrote a book as well with my soul. So I am willing to work with anyone who can be of assistance so that we can reach out to other people out there. The main goal is not to make money, but is to change lives. So if I could find anyone to help me, maybe make a drama or a play, to get this book into a play, I'll be very grateful.
Okay. Let's talk about focus as a writer. There are people who talk about a thing called writer's block. They want to write, but they're just a blockage. How do you deal with that, and how do you cultivate focus?
Okay, what focus, because I wrote this book when I was in school, it was very difficult for me, because you need to balance your schedules. It was very difficult because at times I'll have to attend to lessons, At the same time, maybe I have established a certain time that, okay, at this time I'm delivering my content, and you find that I'm working in the labs and I fail to deliver. What I'm saying is, when you are focused, you choose one thing and focus on it. I'll give an example with a machine gun shooter and a sniper.
Machine gun shooting, yes.
And a sniper. So a machine gun shooter just shoot randomly. They're not even sure if they'll shoot the target or what. But with a sniper, they take their time and observe until they see that, okay, fine, this is where I'm going to shoot and I got the target. So this is what I meant by focus. If you want to do something, don't touch here and there. If you're not done with this, don't leave it and try to start on something afresh. You should focus on what you are doing and make sure that you finish it well on time.
Some people talk of multitasking. Is it not helpful also to multitask? Or you describe it as machine gun shooting?
It is very important to multitask, especially when you have a very short time frame. But some people like procrastinating. They'll be like, okay, let me do this one I'll do it. Let me do this one I'll do it. And then they tend to forget to balance. Yes.
So you see yourself as a sniper more than a machine gun shooter?
I'm in between.
You're somewhere in between.
I'm in between.
And Batho reng syndrome, that is something that has afflicted a lot of people. You're really talking about peer pressure.
Yes.
How did you experience it in your life, and then how did you overcome it?
I haven't experienced it that much. I just wanted to come and motivate my peers, my brothers, my sisters who would want to start using their gifts or talents, but they are afraid of what will other people say, the naysayers. We need to understand that no matter what, people always talk. Either you do good or bad, people will always talk. So some people will just sit on their talent with the fear. I'm going to start with this small thing. What are people going to say? What if they reject me? Those things, you need to understand that no matter what, people will always have something to say. So you shouldn't just sit on your talent, because the same people who are talking are the same people who would never extend a hand to help you. So you shouldn't just sit and say, I'm not going to do anything. I'm afraid of this person. You should stand up for yourself, or else someone is going to stand up for you. Yes, sir.
But isn't there something to be said for fitting into your culture, into your people? Isn't there an advantage also to being part of a society?
Yeah, it is. It is. But some people are very reserved. They're very reserved. And we need to understand that we are of different calibers. Some don't have self-esteem. Some are less privileged. So they just choose to stay and sink in there.
Okay.
Yes.
Is this subject covered in any of your 5 books? The one we're discussing now?
Yes, it is.
Which one, and how did you cover it?
Struggles that turned into blessings. That's the title of the book.
Yes.
So there was this boy, he was very clever. So he was afraid to use his talent. He was very gifted, he was intelligent. But he wanted to establish a tutoring session. But he was afraid because he didn't have startup. He was wondering what will people say in the village if he tutored other kids in a very small house without a very fancy office. But there are people who went to him, the teachers, the social workers, they helped him stand. That is when he got the confidence.
Okay, so it is also in a play format.
Yes, sir.
So similarly, you're looking for actors and directors to help you.
Definitely.
Okay. Why do you insist on the play format? Why don't you write just a novel?
When I was writing it in a play format, I thought that maybe because it's not, actually I don't want to just make money. I want to inspire, hence my Facebook page name, Untitled Chapter Inspires. So in order for me to inspire, I need to extend a hand and do something that will motivate people. So if it's in a play like this, I'm going to find people who are going to participate in the play. And that is helping other people also, and like breaking the barriers Yes, and creating employment for other youths who are out there, lost, struggling, not just to sit and rely on the government. So I felt me doing this, I'll be extending a help.
Helping hand. Okay. We spoke earlier about resilience. Is it something that you've covered in any of your books? Resilience,
no,
persistence. You haven't covered it
no.
yet. Like bouncing back from failure. You haven't covered that.
Just a bit, but I won't talk much about it because this character, Noli, she kept trying and she kept failing. She kept trying and she kept failing, but she didn't give up because the person who adopted her was very supportive. But I feel if she was failing while still staying with the aunt, she could have given up, or something opposite could have happened to her. Okay.
Now, the subject that affects us as Botswana that we talk about a lot is GBV, gender-based violence.
Yes.
Is it something that you cover in your writings?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
There's a book called Pastor Why that I wrote.
Pastor Why? Yes.
Pastor Why is like, why would you do this, Pastor?
What had the pastor done?
Okay, the pastor was like, there are people who betray people with their teachings. So he pretended to be who he is not. He deserved like young ones in the village. He used them sexually. He would hit other kids, like physical abuse. So that is one thing that people use their power to abuse the young ones. Yes.
It sounds to me there's an element of experience in what you write. Is it something you've encountered or seen or witnessed?
Not
or
really.
You just pick it from the news?
I love reading. I love observing what is happening around me. Like maybe when I'm going through the news, I hear gender-based violence cases are very high in Botswana, this and this. And then I'll be like, okay, fine. How can I drive a message to people using what is happening around them? You see, I wrote about this poor girl. I know that there are kids out there who are suffering, who are abused by people who are not their biological parents. And then I'm trying to like spread the message that, okay, fine, even if you're going through this, don't just sit, go and seek help. That is what I'm actually doing.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you also speak to audiences about your story? In other words, are you a speaker as well?
I'm not really a public speaker.
Okay.
I just write.
Okay. Don't you find that as you promote the book, as you go to book launches, it's important also to be able to speak, to explain to people what you're talking about?
It is very important. That is why I am still figuring it. I have mentors actually who are helping me deal with public speaking, because I grew up as this girl who was shy, who was scared to go to other people. Yeah, I think maybe it's because I was raised by a single parent, so we were always home. We wouldn't socialize. So I just did this when I grew up.
Okay, so how does the working with a mentor help your speaking? How does it work?
Because we do it online, I'm still getting notes on how to like talk to people, how do you address people, what the do's and don'ts.
Okay.
That is what we have covered actually, because we just started.
Have you heard of Toastmasters International?
No.
Okay, they actually not only help you with public speaking, but they help you develop it as an art form to be able to make money out of it. There's also Debate in Botswana. Have you heard of Debate in Botswana?
Yes.
Okay. Don't you want to get in touch with them?
I would like to do that.
I think it also helps public speaking skills. And for those who might be watching this show, is it not something that we should be encouraging people to do? Because the great Warren Buffett says that for success, one of the biggest skills that has made a difference to him was public speaking. To be able to talk to your employees, to be able to talk to your followers, to be able to talk to whoever you interact with in bigger numbers. You need to be a reasonably good public speaker.
That's true.
You don't agree with that?
I agree. It's
Okay.
very true.
Yeah. The power of the why. You get so many motivational speakers and so many books saying, discover your why, and your why is everything. Can you just help me understand it in simple terms, the power of the why?
Okay, the power of my why. As a person, you need to know why you exist. If you are starting something, you need to know why you're starting the thing. If you want to quit, know why you shouldn't quit. So with me, my why is my background, how I was raised. Like I said before, I was raised by a single mom. So I always wished to have some things that we didn't have. That is why I grew up and got serious with my schoolwork, because I wanted to pass and I wanted to do certain things for my mom and my siblings. So every time when I think of quitting, I think of the promises I made to my mom. And then I'll be like, you see why you don't have to quit. My siblings are my why. My background is my why. My mom is my why. That is why I push every day not to quit.
Okay.
You should know your why. If you don't have a why, you don't, it's like there's nothing that is pushing you. You don't know why you're existing. You don't know why you have to do some things. You just do it maybe because some people are doing it. You go to school just because it's a right that you have. You don't know really why you have to study, why really you have to sacrifice, why really you have to be time conscious. When they say class, it's time for class. You know, that is why we have some students who even drop out of school, drink and abuse alcohol while they are still learners, because they don't understand. They don't have a clear visions of what they want. Yes.
Okay, so it has to do with discovering your purpose, isn't it?
Exactly.
Now, is there a method to it? A method to making this discovery?
It's discipline. If you are disciplined, you would know what you want.
In other words, what I'm asking you, I know you're not probably you know, a therapist or anything like that, but is there, what method or what systems did you come up with to discover your why or to find your why?
What
is there
systems? I just told myself that, you know what, Thato, you need to focus. Actually, I got inspired by other people, and then I felt, okay, these people came from this, and now they are here. So if they did it, that means I can also do it. And then I was like, okay, fine, what is going to push me to do this? And then that is when I established my why. Yes.
Okay. I believe that most writers are readers, is that correct? So what books or what content did you absorb to inspire you, and what is keeping you inspired?
I like reading spiritual books. We have a writer by Ellen G. White in SDA.
Wow.
So I always read her
The prophetess.
books. Yes. I always read her books. So those are my favorite books, actually.
When I was little, in the pulpit it was always being said, "Khaitsadi Museu, Khaitsadi Museu." And as a young boy, I was wondering, "Khaitsadi Museu? Who is this Khaitsadi Museu?" And I thought maybe it had to do with the color, that is a white person. And it's much more than that, I discovered. So what books of Ellen G. White have influenced you, and which ones have you enjoyed the most?
There is Messages to Young People is my favorite, actually.
Why?
Because I'm a young person, and she's talking to me.
What does it say? Or what can you remember from that book?
What I can remember is that we should build characters for eternity. So if I'm building a character, I should make sure that this character, it's something that I'll be like proud of eternally. Something that is going to last me longer.
Okay.
Yes. I should be on my best behavior, knowing that this is for eternity. I'm just here for a while, but there's eternity.
The character stays forever. Any other book?
I also read Counsels on Food and Diets.
Tell us about that one. What does it say? What was the biggest takeaway from that one?
Yes, it tells us about what we should inhale or ingest, because we are said to be the temple of the Lord. So we shouldn't pollute it with what we eat. So it just guides us on food that we should take. Yes.
What does it say?
And keeping our body healthy.
What does it say about that? Or is there something you're willing to share? Maybe a belief you have on what we should eat?
Okay. I believe that people are going to feel I'm using it in Adventist context.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, fine. We should take fruits. We should take water. Okay, let me use it in New Start. N for nutrition.
Yes.
E for exercise. We should exercise our bodies more regularly to keep the muscles healthy. And W is for water. We should drink water for muscles building in our bodies and other purposes that water serves in the body. And then there's sunlight. Like our bodies need sunlight for growth. And then there is temperance.
So you must go out there and walk in the sun.
Yes, you should jog. Yes, before and after work maybe. Then there is temperance. We should be temperate with what we eat. We should take clean things into our bodies. And we shouldn't just wake up and abuse food any time of the day. You should have the time frames for eating, should be temperate. Yes, and then there's air. Learn to like allow air to circulate in and outside the building, or just go outside there for fresh air. Like we are faced with COVID-19 now, so you cannot just remove your mask anywhere for air. As you know, some people complain that no, I cannot breathe properly, especially the elderly ones who have problems. But you should understand that if you have a spot where you can get air, make sure that you get fresh, clean air. Yes, and then the other one is rest. The people who never rest actually, like they're
like sleep?
Our bodies, yes. They forget that rest serves a very God purpose in our bodies. You need to rest in order for you to grow. You need to rest in order for you to relax your muscles and body. Maybe when you have a very, not even if it's not a huge thing to do tomorrow, but if you have something that you have to do tomorrow, you need to have proper rest. That is what really New Start is all about.
What's the T for?
T, it's for, what's the T for? I forgot.
I've been following New Start. I'm waiting for you to finish. Rest, the T. I've been asking myself, what does the T stand for?
Trust in God.
Yes, the most important
the
one.
last T.
Yeah.
Trust in God.
Yeah.
Above all, because we know some things are not easy to achieve, you'll be trying by all means to be temperate, but the devil will be busy sending some small things to you. You'll be trying by all means to be healthy by exercising, but because of the sicknesses and the illnesses that we have, you fail. But if you trust in God, if you really trust in God, everything's going to fall in place. It might not be now, might not be any time later, but at the end it's going to fall in place.
Any other reason why you are influenced by Ellen G. White?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Ellen G. White left a very big history. So with a lot of people following her, getting to read her content, I think she wrote about things that were happening and those that are happening now. So if we get to read and understand her in a very different ways, we can be able to grow, not just spiritually. It doesn't just help spiritually. It also helps mentally, physically, because she covers a lot of things and try to relate them to God. That is what I really liked about her.
Okay. Any other author who's impacted you, who has influenced your writing?
Yes. When I was a young girl, I loved reading Daniel Steele.
Oh.
I loved reading Daniel Steele because I'll go to the library and I'll say, Daniel Steele. I'll ask myself, oh, this person wrote a lot of books and they're very packed, nicely packed. I would love them and I'd be like, oh, you know what? Only if I could work hard like she did. I think
it's a woman.
If she did it, I can do it. So she inspired me.
She writes mostly about what?
She writes about love, country, living, a lot of things.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Let's talk about the power of social media. You've already hinted or indicated that you have 7,000 followers on Facebook. And it seems to me you know how to use social media. Do you want to perhaps add on to that?
Yes. Social media is a very powerful tool if used correctly, because if you get to post something and then you have a lot of followers, or even if you have few followers, Then there's something that Facebook allows, like to boost a post. If you boost a post, you reach a certain number of people. So it's a good thing because if your followers are people who like your content, they will share. And sharing means other people who are not followers will be able to see your content and then they will like. And then also, social media is very powerful because people always pass on comments, either negative or positive. So what I do is I take the negative comments and read them and just be like, okay, fine, because these are negative, I'm going to use them to push myself even better. I ignore positive comments actually. I don't say,
I never heard of that before.
But I do.
They don't inspire you?
No. I just appreciate, but I don't dwell much on them and say, oh, they say I have a nice voice, blah, blah, blah. No. Maybe if I did a video. But if somebody said something negative about me, maybe like, you could have done this and this. Why did you kill this person? Maybe I killed the author or something. I'd be like, okay, fine. What can I do so that I make those people happy? Not that I'm doing things to please people, but I'm using the negative feedback
to improve yourself.
To improve myself.
But some of them are just naysayers, and why should you listen to haters and naysayers?
It's not like I listen to them because other feedbacks are useful, very useful. Okay. Because on my own, I'm not perfect, but with other people, they can be able to see that, okay, fine, here you could have done it this way, you could have done this way. Because maybe there are people who have been in the industry, the writing industry, for a very long time, and I just started, so I need their help too. Yes.
Now, would you say Botswana youth are using social media correctly? And why?
Okay, on my Facebook, they are. Because I follow actors, writers. It depends on who you follow or what you see on your Facebook. Yes. Because some people, yes, will share things that are very disturbing. I went out on Facebook for some short time because of something that would, if there's something that is trending, like in South Africa there was the looting, and then people were sharing that. It was sad, and some were making jokes out of it. So it depends on what you see on your Facebook.
Like that story of people with oil, I thought that was funny.
Yes.
There was oil there that one of the supermarkets, when the looters came, they kept falling.
Exactly.
That was funny.
Yes. So what I can say is Botswana are very supportive, especially the youth. If you are doing a business or you are into something, there's this trend nowadays that they say, sharers, do your thing. You just write sharers, people who share posts.
Sharers?
Yes, do your thing.
Yeah.
Yes, so you just write, okay, I'm Thato Waniwa, I'm an author, I just started this and that. Can you please, guys, help me? And then at the bottom, you just write, sharers, do your thing. They're going to share. I think it's because they can see that this person needs support. Yes, and he or she can go somewhere. So that is why they're being supportive.
Okay. I've heard that they don't promote their businesses enough, Botswana. Is that true? What's your view on that? Whereas other nations really promote their businesses more than just entertainment.
Oh, that's true because other countries, they're advanced with technology. And maybe us were disadvantaged because we didn't have some of these things before.
I thought we joined around the same time. Facebook has been around, what, 10, 15 years?
Exactly. What I'm saying is other people, like other kids who are in places where they don't have access to such gadgets, it's a disadvantage to them. But maybe they're sitting on their talents. They don't know how to use such platforms.
And in your case as a writer and as an upcoming writer, how exactly did social media assist you or help you or get you to where you are?
Okay, I would say social media really helped me because after establishing my Facebook page, I got support from people, even those outside the country. And it was a good thing because even when I made my copies, I knew who already want my book. Because as you write, people say, okay, reserve a copy for me, reserve a copy for me, reserve. And like when people don't know anything about you. Yes, it's hard that way because no one knows that Thato Waniwa is a writer. You come to them, they don't even know what you've been doing. Some wouldn't be interested. But if I have established a Facebook page like I did, people are already reading. I keep on taking out a reminder that, okay, fine, guys, my book will be out very soon, so this is the price. They get to prepare their money well on time.
Yeah, recently I appeared on Hofaone's program, which is on Instagram, and I announced that I'm starting to write my own book, and I am starting to write my own book. What words of encouragement would you give me as a first-time author? What do you think I need to do to keep myself going and to keep the inspiration going?
Okay, what I can say is don't try and copy what other people are doing. If you had established what you want to do and what you want to achieve, stick by it. And try by all means to find support, because you might tell yourself that I'm on the right track, but there are very important hints that you are missing that are going to draw you back, very, very back. So what you can do is you should focus, you should allocate your duties very well, be time conscious, and also be disciplined. If you are disciplined, you work according to your schedule. If it's time for you to focus on your writing, you focus. Maybe you have something to do on the side, you do it. But if it's time to focus on writing, you do your writing.
And what's the best time for you to write? Or what do you think is the best time generally? Is it early in the morning when everybody's asleep, or late at night, or during the day? You just have to lock yourself up somewhere.
I think it depends actually. But with me, I like the night because it's quiet.
You like the
night?
Yeah.
You're listening to the sounds of the trees, the fresh breeze of the air through the window. It's very nice because in the morning there is a lot of movement.
Depends what time.
There are early birds. Yes, there are early birds who would wake up at 3, maybe traveling and all. Imagine you stay in town like this.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there's a lot of disturbance. I think it just depends on your location and what you prefer.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Coexisting with peers and learning to benefit from them.
Okay. I will use a Setswana proverb that says, "Mabogodimko atipana."
Yes.
Because
which crudely translated means?
Like you need to work with other people in order for you to go somewhere. Yes, you cannot manage to do it on your own. You need other people. Yes, so when I started writing, I was in school. So I needed my peers to help me promote my Facebook page. I needed them to start off by reading my insights and sharing, telling people that, okay, fine, we have an author in the house. So they really helped me with that. That is why I feel that with peers, people will understand you, not just anyone, because some will criticize, will judge. Yes. But with people who understand you, who understand your goal and your vision, they'll be very supportive like my peers did. Yes.
But does that mean that sometimes you have to walk away from some of your friends?
You definitely have to.
Did you have that experience, and how do you go about it? Some people don't really know how to distance themselves from what I call energy vampires and time stealers.
Yes. I remember there was a time when I would go to the labs, and because I used the labs to write my insights, and I would take very long to write because I had very long stories. I'll take a lot of time, and my peers would be like, okay, fine, you're delaying, we're supposed to go to the mall and all that. And I'll be like, okay, fine, if I leave my work and go to the mall, I'll find the labs locked, and that means I wouldn't be able to deliver the content to the readers. I'll say, okay, you guys go. And they'll tell me to my face, you know what, you're boring. You're so boring. You know how tertiary students are. Yeah, they'll tell me, Thato, you're boring. And I'll be there maybe with an empty stomach, I'll be hurt. Until one day I learned that in order for you to reach your destiny, it's not everyone who's supposed to be with you at your destiny. So you have to lose some people. Then I told myself, okay, fine, I'm just going to be me. I'm going to do me. And then if anybody stays, they'll stay. If anyone goes, they'll go.
You should have said, best comeback would have been, I'm not your entertainer. So I'm not here to entertain you. So if you're bored, it's your problem, not mine. Yeah, but I'm just kidding. So you eventually had to part with those friends.
Yeah, I had to. And the saddest thing was that I thought they would come back and tell me, okay, fine, now that we see where you are heading, we see what you want to achieve. Can you please help us also so that we can do something? But they're just there sitting and relaxing. It's like they're still enjoying that.
Yeah. In fact, they don't seem to appreciate.
And it's sad because...
Or if they do, they don't tell you. They keep it to themselves. Yeah. Story of my life. Okay. Yes. Time orientation.
With time orientation, like I said, you need to break down your task and know when it's time to do this and when it's time to do this.
Okay.
Yes. You need to balance your time looking at, if you have a family, you need to know that there's time for family. If you have school, you need to know that there's time for school. If you have work, you should know that this is time for work. In order for everything to fit in that 24-hour clock.
Now, as you come to the end, you have a chance to ask me a question.
Okay, I long wanted to ask you this. What inspired you to start helping other entrepreneurs, young people, business owners?
I think the joy that you get from seeing somebody achieve their goals. I think the idea of being of service, like we also say in our tagline, we enthuse, we energize, we inspire, and we empower. So the idea of empowering others is something that we take very seriously, and we believe that in the long run, it is something that will be of huge benefit to us as well when we start perhaps monetizing what we're doing. And even if we don't monetize it, we'll have that sense of satisfaction that we invested in others. And every time over the years, because I've had mentees and I've had pupils as a pupil master, as a lawyer, every time I've done that job of empowering others, I found that it gave me the greatest amount of pleasure, the greatest amount of satisfaction.
That's very
so that is the reason, yeah. Okay.
So, I have the last question.
Yeah.
Because we are faced with a very, very, very terrible pandemic, what has been some of the challenges that you guys faced, and how did you tackle some of them?
I've answered this question in previous shows. I'm going to urge the viewer and you to watch other shows where I've answered different questions. There's a particular time when I was with Maitri, look for the one with Maitri towards the end. You see that I answered that question beautifully.
All right.
Okay. Look at that camera there and leave that viewer or those viewers with a few words of inspiration and encouragement.
Okay, what I can say is you guys know that we are living in difficult times because of this pandemic. We shouldn't just sit and say the government will meet us halfway. What I can say is go out there, use your talent, your abilities in order for you to stand, because you might not know. You will also be creating employment for other people. And also what I can say is spread love. We are losing people. So the last thing that we need is people who judge others based on their capabilities or disabilities. So what you can do is treasure other people while they live. And also what I can say is that know that God loves you and have faith in whatever that you do at all times. Thank you so much.
Great. That's a nice parting message. Would you want to tell them where to reach you, where to contact you, social media and elsewhere?
Okay, you guys can go like my page, Facebook page. It's called Unveiled Woman Inspires. You can just send us a message there. And in order for you to get a copy of our book, you can get them here in Gaborone. I'll be available in Gaborone until Sunday. Or you can find us in Francistown. You can simply contact 72558686. That is also our WhatsApp number, or our Gmail at waniwathato@gmail.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Thato. Thank you very much. You've been a great guest. You've done very well. I appreciate what you shared.